channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Frans for the Toy. Today I'm going to show you a quick video on how I built this cheese board. A friend of mine was looking for a cheese board and I offered to make one. Very straightforward and simple. So this video is not focused as much on the woodwork. The woodwork is fairly easy. The woods that I used for this is African rosewood and hard maple. You will see also I've cut the maple in different thicknesses just to give a nice contrast. I think it came out very nice. At the bottom I've put on 4 feet. You will see the feet is quite high. The reason for that is if you put it on a table, it's very easy to pick it up and put your hand underneath the board. I've seen some different cheese boards out there with handles on the side. This is basically a mixture between a cheese board and a serving tray. So you can have some of your snacks or your dips or your sauces and some biscuits and your cheese that you can cut on this side. So this video is mainly focused on building the mechanism of the cheese boards. A lot of people are buying these from craft shops or from I see on Banggood and from Amazon. You can order them as well. They are really cheaply built, and I don't think it puts as a nice a touch as a handmade mechanism. So the components that you would need if you want to build a mechanism like that, for the arm I used the 6mm 316 stainless steel rod, and then for the attachment for the wire, this is a combination between a 16mm 316 stainless steel rod, a M4 stainless steel screw, and a 19mm dowel stick that I've just rounded the edges, drill a hole, and I've glued this thread on the inside of the handle. So yeah, very straightforward. The board is sealed with some mineral oil and beeswax. Like I said, very straightforward. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's start building the board. So now I want to start building the mechanism of the cheese cutter. So what I want to do with this is I want to drill a hole as centered as possible in this rod. Then I need to drill a hole in the side. I will use that for the attachment of the wire. And then also I have some 6mm 316 stainless steel rod that I want to use for the arm that goes around that will hold the wire in place. And I need to bend that 90 degrees, and for that I'm just going to use this simple bender that I built. It's just a piece of flat bar and 3 pieces of round bar. Works very well, efficiently, and very easy to do. So to find the center on this 16mm rod, the easiest way to do is you just put it in your drill press. You tighten it, and then you take a piece of sandpaper. Then you just polish the end slightly. And there you can see you have a perfect center. Now we need to punch it and try to drill the 6mm hole. So I'm using this small clamp and a wooden V-block just to help align the piece of stainless steel. Then I'm going to drill the hole with a 6.5mm stainless steel rod, drill bit. So I have the hole drilled. It's not perfectly centered, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to file a small flat edge on. So I just want to mark it where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut this in more or less 4 equal pieces. So now I'm going to put some thread in. The stainless steel is really tough, so take caution, go very slow. So I just want to mark the stainless steel rod out for bending. So I'm going to make this more or less 120 by 150 by more or less 100. So this groove that I grinded in is for retaining the one end of the string that will be cutting through the cheese. So now I'm going to bend it on this line and on that line. So I'm going to bend the rod now. So you see I've punched myself a mark there on the movement part of the bending jig. So I just line my line up with that mark. And then I put some pressure on. So you see it's bent quite nicely. If you compare it on a square, that corner is perfect. That corner is perfect. So this will be the mechanism that will hold the wire so that you can do the cutting. And that other piece of 16mm rod, this will move over here with a screw in there, and the wire will run between this groove and that groove over there. So for the handle I'm just going to use a 18mm dowel stick and a stainless steel screw. So I'm going to cut the head of the screw, drill a hole in the dowel stick, and then I'm just going to screw it in, and this will then serve as a handle for the cutter. So the frame is finished now. We can start with the cutting board now. So to drill this hole, I had to make a modification here on my drill press. So I've put one of my jigs on the table of my drill press, and then with a G-clamp I'm bolting the board vertically. So make sure that the board is square to the table, and also from the other axis make sure that the board is nice and square. Otherwise this hole will be skew and your whole mechanism of your cheese cutter will be skew. So the hole has been drilled. Let's see how it fits. You'll see it's nice and square. To get the right position, I'm just going to mark it there. I want to align it. So that line, that groove needs to run in that area, and I'm going to cut that on my miter saw. So when I'm going to make this cut, I'm going to adjust my blade so that my blade is running in the center of the mark that I've marked out there. And also be sure not to cut it through, so I'm going to cut it more or less halfway through the wood. That's perfect. So I would like to elevate the cheese board a little bit in the air so that it's not directly on the table. And I'm going to use these rubber feet and a dowel stick. So I'm going to cut the dowel stick, I'm going to drill 4 holes. So I just want to put a small chamfer around the board on the top and the bottom. I'm just going to glue the dowel sticks in for the legs. I'm just going to push the rubber feet on. So I'm just wiping it off with a little bit of water to lift the loose grain. Then final sanding, and then I will start putting some oil on. So for the cutting wire, I'm going to use one of my guitar strings, 0.28 millimeters. It's quite thin, very strong. This piano wire is ideal for this job. I'm just going to tie it around these two edges first to get the length, and then afterwards I'm going to assemble it in the board. So to get the right size loop, I'm going to use so it's a 6 millimeter stainless steel rod. I'm going to use a 7 millimeter drill bit to start the knot. So I want to fold it. So I want to wind it quite tight so that it doesn't slip loose. So it will fit easy over this edge. Then I want to tie another loop around this thread, and I'm also going to use this to tension. So this groove that's grinded in on the edge, you first push the wire in. Then you push it through the loop. So now I'm applying a generous amount of mineral oil. So I will put maybe 3 or 4 coats of mineral oil on here. So I will leave it like this overnight. Tomorrow I will wipe it dry, and then I will polish it with some beeswax and mineral oil mix. So the oil had about 12 to 15 hours to soak into the wood. I will just be wiping off all the excess. And the board is almost finished now. I just want to put my maker's mark on here. So before I burn it, I will just take a little bit of water. Just wet the area where I'm going to burn, just to cool the wood in between the design a little bit. So for the final coat, I'm putting on this beeswax. It gives a long-lasting finish, and it seals the board. To do maintenance on the boards, it's also very easy. You can just wash it clean with soap and water, dry it immediately, and then you can wipe a layer of mineral oil on, or you can get some of this beeswax from me and just apply it perhaps once every 2 weeks, or after you've used it a few times. Depends on how much you are using the board. So this wax is being rubbed into all the pores of the wood. Any small cavities in the wood will be sealed by the wax. I will just take a dry rag, give it a quick polish. Beautiful. Perfectly natural finish. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this journey with me, and I will see you on the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye bye.